Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And I finished watching The Mandalorian a few days ago. I know it started quite late. For some reason I've been having some problems with my Amazon Prime app on my television, so I kind of had to wait a while before watching it. Plus, it wasn't really high up on my list of things to watch. I was eventually going to watch it, which is why I'm this late. But yeah, Star Wars: The Mandalorian, or just The Mandalorian, as it's called. Basically, it's a Clint Eastwood if he was set in space, kind of like that Man with No Name kind of thing, with Din Djarin or Djarin. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the Mandalorian bounty hunter. And so he's basically he's mostly for himself. There is a clan of bounty hunters known as the Mandalorians. They have their own kind of way of life, kind of thing. It is the way. That's something like that they say. So it's kind of set 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. I'm trying to look at some of the points over here because I didn't know exactly when it was set. I knew it was between the episodes 4, 5, and 6, and before. It's set after episodes 4, 5, and 6, but before the Force Awakens, the new movies that have come out. Now, if I were to compare this series with the new movies, I kind of prefer this kind of storytelling. It's way better than like I tell you, I'm not a big fan of J.J. Abrams, and I really think The Force Awakens was kind of a slap in the face of Star Wars fans. He did the same thing with Star Trek, and the second of the 3 Star Trek movies that comes from Bad Robot Productions, and that's Into Darkness, which basically is ripping off Wrath of Khan and Bad Seed. Sorry, Space Seed, Bad Seed. Yeah, JJ doesn't really know how to do his own stuff anymore. He just kind of does a lot of things that pisses me off, and I'm pretty sure pisses a lot of other fans off. I've never been the biggest Star Wars fan. As a kid, I used to like it a lot more. And I'm also a guy who, I still watch it. I got it in my collection. I don't have all the movies, but I've got the episodes 1 to 6. I will eventually get all the others. I might even get Mandalorian on DVD, but as far as I'm concerned, it's never been science fiction to me. It's more of, space operas kind of thing like that. So, but to be honest, I kind of I like the settings of The Mandalorian way more. It reminds me a lot of Firefly. That's the kind of vibe I kind of got. I mean, different kind of thing from Firefly, but still, the way that it is set in the outskirts of the galaxy, or of the new empire, basically, where Mandalorian is, finding people for a price, and bringing them to whoever has set the price on them. And in the beginning, when I first now after I've watched I'm not going to go through all the episodes, story plot and all that stuff. I'm just going to give you my overall view about The Mandalorian. Out of the 8 episodes, I like the first 2, or rather the first 3 really well. 4 was boring. 5 was okay. I wouldn't say it was great, but after watching the first 3 episodes, I really was really intrigued. I really liked it quite a lot. And then it kind of, it's a familiar territory kind of thinking. So, however, setting-wise, I believe it is probably one of the best. It's absolutely, got the budget of big movies and stuff like that. So, Jon Favreau does a fantastic job. I'm really, looks-wise, cinematography and all that stuff, the settings, locations, all that absolute top mark. Not really that blown away by the series. Forgive me, Star Wars fans, if you are, that's your completely thing. Pedro Pascal, I remember seeing him in, I forgot his character's name in Game of Thrones. I find it really odd that he was the choice, but having seen him in this, I mean, you don't really get to see him much, but if he's done everything in this pretty bang up job. Mando is he's normally called kind of like a. I was reading that is actually an offensive term, but yeah, that's what they call him. Now, second point. After the main character Pedro Pascal or the Mandalorian, you go with the child or Baby Yoda, as some people are calling him, and yeah, cute, yes, annoying, yes. I'm already tired of seeing his memes online. On Facebook, it's always there. Again, it's not something that I really like. I did like the way that it's portrayed when he going in that hovering kind of crib, whatever you want to call it. I really like that scenes when he's in the crib and it's moving along, and Mando is walking along. Those are pretty good. Gina Carano plays Cara Dune, and she is awesome. Really like this actress as she's a former UFC fighter. I've never watched UFC, but I've seen her in a couple of movies, including what was that movie with her as the lead character? Oh boy. You know what I'm talking about? Haywire, that's the one. And there was also a lower budget, almost, I think it's a sci-fi original movie called Scorched Earth. She was pretty good at that. That's much more low budget than Haywire. Haywire is, I think it's a movie that should have gotten more appreciation. I really enjoyed it. There's got a couple of other really big stars in it, like Michael Fassbender and Antonio Banderas. I thought that was a really bang-up job that she did over there. But and then you see her in Deadpool. She's pretty awesome. I like her a lot. Who else in this? Carl Weathers, who plays Griff Karga. Names of this. He is also pretty good as an actor in this particular movie. The voice of Nick Nolte as Quill. He was my favorite character. I really liked the way that he was talking and stuff. We have spoken, something that he keeps saying. Because it's not Nick Nolte portraying the character, he's just giving the voice for that particular character. You also have Ming Na Wen in one of the episodes, and I love Ming Na Wen. As far as kick-ass actresses goes, she is probably my top 3. She's absolutely amazing. You have Werner Herzog, legendary person in the movie industry, playing the client. You have Bill Burr. I to be honest, I actually recently, when I say recently, I've seen some of his clips before, but I didn't know too much about him. I've recently become a fan of Bill Burr, as recent as last year, and I really like his brutal comedy, and I thought he was funny in his episode as well. Who else is there? Clancy Brown plays Berg in one episode. Emily Swallow, an actress who I have a big crush on. She plays, you don't get to see her either, she plays the armorer, a Mandalorian woman who makes the armor and equipment from something known as Beskar steel. So it's like a traditional metal that they use for all the Mandalorians, and it's pretty useful during battle. That's about it as far as the actors were concerned. I really like and to be honest, I really like some of the actors in this in the show. It's only 8 episodes, so you can actually watch it. Then what else? This guy plays an awesome villain. I'm just trying to find his name. He was in a couple of series that I've watched. Giancarlo Esposito, however you pronounce his name. He plays Moff Gideon, and he was in a show called Salvation. Let me check. I know he's in Breaking Bad and some other stuff, but I've never watched Breaking Bad. I've never watched the spin-off series as well. Revolution, that's the series that I'm thinking about. It's only lasted for 2 years, 2 seasons. But yeah, I think he's a pretty good actor for television especially. and he also is he played an amazing villain in the show. And I just found out that he's actually Danish-born Italian now, and then later became American. That's odd. Anyhow, really like the. I mean, so yeah. So like I said, the first three episodes I really enjoyed. The third one not so much. Sorry, the fourth one not so much. Fifth one was okay. Sixth and seven I thought was kind of like almost fillers, except for the ending parts. And eight was pretty good in itself. So overall, I would give the show. Let's see. I don't, like I said, I don't really rate Star Wars that much. I don't get why it's so popular. To be honest, I know I'm going to get probably a lot of hate from people when I do mention it, but I never have thought of, especially in my adult life, I never thought of Star Wars to be that awesome. It's kind of average for me. I way prefer Star Trek, and just below Star Trek, I would put things like Battlestar Galactica, Stargate, Farscape, all the other television science fiction shows. Like I said, I don't really consider this to be a science fiction show or movie series just because it happens to be set in space. It's kind of more like swords, fighting, wizards, those kind of thing. Sword and sorcery. That's the term I was looking for. Although, to be honest, I do enjoy watching episodes 1, 2, and 3 and 4, 5, and 6 as a continuation movie series kind of thingy. And I find that I'm probably in some of the minority, but I do enjoy the prequel series as much as I do the 4, 5, and 6. I find that episodes 3 and episodes 4 are my favorites. I really like those both a lot. So yeah, we're not supposed to be talking about Star Trek. So Mandalorian, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, I found that him being someone who distances himself from everything is all about the way of the Mandalorian. Basically, skilled warriors who are bounty hunters, kind of like Django and Boba Fett, and that's what he mainly does. He is hired to do a job. He approaches and is ready to do certain jobs. He gets money for that, and that takes care of his lifestyle, whatever, as bleak as it is. And him finally having a change of heart when he sees Baby Yoda playing with that whatever that thing is, and So the only thing I'm trying to wonder is this Yoda's? I mean, he's someone from the same species as Yoda, but is he a child of Yoda? What do you think? Maybe Yoda had sown his seeds before getting killed. Who knows? Anyway, not killed. Sorry, dying off. Anyway, so that's a few of my thoughts about The Mandalorian. Like I said, it didn't blow me away. I do think it is pretty good to watch, especially the first 3 episodes, episode 8 as well. So I would give it an 8 out of 10. Enjoyed it. Thank you guys. I will come back to you again pretty soon. Bye.